Morning, everyone. I've got a bit of a swollen lip, so if I speak really badly, we're going to blame it on that and not on nerves. Morning. Today I want to share the story from the Gospel of Matthew that has deeply shaped the way I see God's love, especially for those who feel like they might not belong. It's the story of the Canaanite woman whose daughter was healed by Jesus, Matthew 15, verse 21 to 28. At first glance, this story might seem confusing, maybe even a little bit uncomfortable. But if we look deeper, it becomes a powerful reminder that everyone, no matter their background, identity, or their past, is welcome in the family of Jesus. So let me quickly summarize the story. Jesus has traveled to the region of Tyre and Sidon, a non-Jewish area. A Canaanite woman approached him, crying out for help. Her daughter was suffering terribly, and she begged Jesus to heal her. At first, Jesus didn't respond. Even the disciples tried to send her away. When Jesus finally spoke, he said something that seemed harsh. "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." And when she pleaded again, he said, "It's not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." But instead of giving up, the woman responded, "Yes, Lord, but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Her faith amazed Jesus, and he healed her daughter instantly. Now, why does this matter? In this story, the Canaanite woman is an outsider. She isn't Jewish in a Jewish world. She's a woman in a male-dominated culture, and her daughter's suffering makes her desperate. By every standard of the time, she was someone people expected Jesus to ignore. But even the disciples saw her as a nuisance. She likely felt unworthy, overlooked, maybe even a little bit ashamed, and yet she doesn't give up. She dares to believe that even a little bit of Jesus' love, even the crumbs, would be more powerful than anything she had ever known. And Jesus sees that. He sees her, not her race, not her gender, not her outsider status. He sees her faith. And in that moment, Jesus breaks through the cultural barriers and shows that his healing, his love, his family is for everyone. As a young woman, this story speaks to me in a deeply personal way. There are moments when I felt unheard or underestimated. This woman reminds me that faith isn't about fitting into a mold. It's about daring to believe that Jesus' love reaches across every barrier and that his family is open to anyone who comes with an honest, persistent heart. So, what can we learn from Jesus in this story? And what can we change about ourselves to be more like him? We can begin by opening our hearts wider. Jesus listened, even when society said not to. He responded to faith, not labels, and we can do the same. We can be more open, more curious, more compassionate, especially to those who feel like outsiders, whether it's to someone from a different background, someone who's struggling, or someone that's simply just different from us. We can respond like Jesus, with welcome, healing, and love. Because in the end, this story isn't just about healing. It's about a boundary being broken, a woman being seen, and a world being reminded that there's room at the table for everyone. Thank you.
This story is about a woman who thought she was unwelcome in the family of Jesus, but he invited her in. A woman was at a well in the middle of the day, and Jesus' disciples had gone to find food. So Jesus went to the well alone and asked the woman for a drink. The woman was confused, as she was a Samaritan and he was a Jew. "Why are you asking me?" she said. Then Jesus said, "If you knew who I am, you would ask for living water. The water you drink will mean you're always thirsty, but the water I can give you will give you eternal life." Then he told her to go and get her husband. She told him she didn't have a husband, to which he replied, "That is true. You have had 5 husbands and are currently living with a man you're not married to." The woman realized he was a prophet and asked if he was greater than Jacob, and she knew someone was coming known as Christ, to which Jesus replied, "I am he." In this passage, Jesus meets a woman who is not accepted by society and is cast out by her community. However, he goes to the well in the middle of the day, knowing she'll be there, and purposely engages with her. We don't know the reasons the woman had 5 separate husbands, but her life had probably been very difficult. And then on top of this, the community shut her out and made her feel like she wasn't worthy of their care or kindness. However, when Jesus looked at her, he saw a person needing love, and he invited her into his kingdom unhesitatingly, without judgment and without criticism. He didn't tell her to go and sort her life out first or see her for all her sins and things she had done wrong, showing that Jesus meets us just where we are. To me, this shows that whether our life is in order or we're stumbling around in the dark, Jesus' offer stays the same. When other people make us feel worthless or unwanted, Jesus shows us our value. Even if we feel completely undeserving, Jesus still welcomes us without condition. In this passage, even though the woman at the well was judged and criticized by society, Jesus welcomed her into his kingdom wholeheartedly, knowing her past and then changing her future. He offered her a new start in life and gave her hope. Jesus demonstrates his unconditional offer of love and calls us to do the same, so that anyone we meet, regardless of age, gender, sexuality, race, belief, or what they've done in the past, is met without criticism and without judgment, just love. We have probably all had moments where we have felt left out or judged by the people around us, but we can always trust Jesus to include us and be there. There's nothing we can do to make him leave. We shouldn't think that we're better than anyone and treat them inconsiderately just because they made a mistake once. Even if we disagree with someone or disapprove of their choices, we shouldn't judge them, but try to understand them and still show them kindness and love. We also shouldn't think we're worth less than anyone or that we're undeserving of God's love, because we've all made mistakes and we shouldn't dwell on them. We should ask for forgiveness and be forgiving. We can see from the woman in the passage that when we get given this love, we can't help but share it, as she goes on to tell everyone she knows, even those who are unkind to her, about the man who changed her life. This shows the ripple effects that we can have when we share Jesus' love with the people around us. Thank you.